Hey guys, this is Dan with MH Park Solutions. Hey, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about why mobile home parks may be a better investment versus multifamily apartments, or at least why we feel that they are. There's a couple of reasons that we feel that mobile home park far outweigh multifamily investments. And number one is in today's market, it's a very strong market out there in all real estate asset classes for the most part. Um, if you're going out to acquire an apartment, you're probably looking at a five or at acquiring in between 5 or an 8% cap rate, depending on the market, of course, and the quality of the asset. Whereas a mobile home park, you can acquire a mobile home park in today's market anywhere in the 8 to 10 cap rate range, and your overall annualized returns and the potential is much greater in mobile home parks. So, in a mobile home park, it's not uncommon for you to be able to achieve a 15 to 20% annualized return and grow that return over a few years and not a very long period of time. Whereas apartments, you're probably looking at an average 10% annualized return on apartments. So you have a much greater return potential. Number one. Number two, there's lower maintenance costs with running a mobile home park versus a multifamily. And the reason for that is when you acquire a mobile home park, you're typically, the tenant owns their home and the owner of the park is just leasing the land underneath those homes. So now the tenant that owns the home, they're responsible for all the repairs and maintenance of that home, as well as the utilities. Whereas apartments, as an apartment owner, you're responsible for all the maintenance, repairs, all the common areas, most of the utilities. So your expense ratio is a lot higher on apartments, typically 50 to 60%. Whereas on mobile home parks, your expense ratio is going to be anywhere from 30 to 40%. So there's a distinct advantage there, and it's why we like mobile home parks, because you're just leasing the dirt. There's less maintenance, less management for the most part, and mobile home parks gives you an opportunity to drive revenues, increase revenues pretty quickly, because in some mobile home parks, or in most mobile home parks where the owners have owned their parks for a long time, it's mom and pop owners typically, where they haven't raised rents to meet inflation, and they're typically not billing back the utilities to the tenants. So it gives buyers the opportunity to go in, bill back the utilities, raise rents, and really drive revenues and increase the value of that park in a very short period of time. Versus apartments, you can't do that. So those are some key benefits that we like. Also, you're going to have typically more stability with tenants that live in a mobile home park versus apartments, and that's because when the tenant owns their homes, they're less likely to move. If you increase the rents, they're less likely to move, because it's going to cost them anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to move that home. So most tenants don't have the money to pay that. So in most cases, the tenants are never going to leave. Whereas apartments, of course, they're on month-to-month leases or one-year leases, and typically people are always moving. So you're always going to have turnover costs with multifamily. So that drives your expenses way up. Also, the affordability factor. You know, I think there's probably 60 million people in this country that earn less than $20,000 a year. So all they can afford is a payment of up to $500 a month, which all they can afford is a mobile home. So whereas a two-bedroom apartment is averaging about $1,000 a month these days, so there's a great advantage there for mobile home parks. So if you look at that, the average lot rent today is about $280. There's a tremendous opportunity with mobile home parks because the lot rents are so low. They haven't kept up with inflation, and they're so much lower than other asset classes, so there's so much opportunity to increase those and increase returns. And lastly, you know, it gives people an opportunity to own their own home, which we like, and it creates pride of ownership and a sense of community. So that's you know, one of the great benefits as well. So hopefully I pointed out some important information for you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us at mhparksolutions.com or send us an email. We're happy to answer any questions you have. And if you're looking to invest or you have some money to invest and you're looking for an alternative, I would highly recommend you take a look at mobile home parks because there's a tremendous opportunity, and we feel it's a great option. So anyways, hope that is of value, and have a great day.